Hello everybody, welcome to the Three Lotus Tarot. Today we are going to do a pick a card reading for the question, what is the tea that's going on around about me? Alright, so we're going to be using the Modern Spellcasters Tarot deck for our main reading, and then we're going to, as usual, finish off with some oracle cards from the Fairy Oracle deck. So I hope you're ready to find out what's going on in the news around you. Pile 1 is, wow, the Sun together with Selenite. Pile 2 is the Five of Swords with Sodalite, the blue speckled Sodalite. Okay, and pile 3 is the Four of Pentacles with the green Dongling. I always get so excited when like the crystals which I picked beforehand seem to match up with the cards. Okay, so this is for your choices. Pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. The question is, we want to find out what's the tea going on in the universe about you. Okay, so when you have identified your pile or piles that are calling out to you, please go to the timestamps in the description box below and get to your reading. I'll see you there. Hello pile 1, you have chosen the Sun, the beautiful Sun with the Selenite crystal. Okay, so perhaps what we will find out about you is if there's any news or information going on in the stratosphere about you, it is like happy stuff, good stuff, positive stuff, you know, nothing too untoward, nothing too gossipy or malicious about you at all. Okay, that's just going off from your card, the Sun, which is beautiful. Or pile 1, it could just mean that you don't give a whit about what's going on in the news about you. Yeah, that could very much be it as well. All right, I must say, I mean, it's perfectly healthy, mentally healthy, perhaps healthier for us to not think so much about what other people think about us, perceive about us, or have thoughts about us, you know, because sometimes it's just too much drama, too much hassle, and we might as well focus in on, you know, the true sense of ourselves and our self-belief and stay positive, right? But anyway, you know, that doesn't stop the tea from being around, so let's just have a look at what is the tea going on about pile 1. Let's ask the spirit guides of pile 1, what is the tea that's going on around about them? What is the tea? What do other people speak about pile 1? What do other people say when they speak about pile 1? All right, let's take a look at these cards that have come out. So firstly, we've got the Two of Wands. Yes, so perhaps there is a little birdie that's going on around pile 1 that is I'm talking about you, or, you know, chirping about you. Some more birds, and look, Page of Wands with a hand to the ear. So yep, there could be most definitely stuff that's going on around you. There are people speaking about you, but I do see that the cards look very bright and cheery, blue, happy, beautiful colors together with your Sun card as well. So I don't believe that there's anything bad or malicious or rude that's going on about you. Okay, we also have the Seven of Cups. And we've got the Nine of Swords. Yes, okay. So I don't know if you feel that there's news or gossipy stuff, rumors going on about you, and that's causing you to have this anxious, restless feeling, and perhaps you think that people are speaking about you and they may be saying things that are not so positive about you, but I want you to put those feelings aside, because it really does look like, yes, there could be people speaking about you. There could be several people speaking about you, and they may speak about different things. So there may be several sources of information, and there may be several topics of conversation or the tea about you, right? But like I said, these cards where it really shows that action of news going on about you, news passing from one to another via the birds. It's green, it's nature. We see blue skies, we see beautiful leaves. You're out in the fresh air. It's not stormy, it's not dark, it's not raining. So I believe that whatever they're talking about like perhaps, you know, things that go along the vein of, I don't know how Pal One does it. She seems to just be able to get everything under control. And wow, you know, Pal One's life looks so fantastic. He always just has the best luck possible, you know. There isn't any thread of resentment or jealousy, it looks like. Mostly looks very clear, looks very bright, and happy people are happy for you having such a wonderful environment and surrounding around you. And this goes with the sun. I think they see you as having a bright, cheery disposition in a bright, cheery world. Your world is beautiful, Pal One, and they see this and they're like, wow, I wonder how they do it. I wish I had it, but it doesn't come with a sense of bitterness or resentment. Okay. Now let's see, is there anything in particular that they are talking about, Pal One? Is there anything in particular that they're talking about, Pal One? Can we find out, please? Is there anything in particular that they're talking about, Pal One? Any last bits? Okay. Right. Okay. So I know you guys see the Tower card, but please don't worry. Okay, let's have a look first. Okay, Nine of Wands. So the question, remember, is there anything that in particular that they're talking about, Pal One? So you've got the Nine of Wands, you've got the Tower card, and then you also have the Moon. So two big major arcana here. So you underwent something that was quite big for you, a big moment, a big event, a big milestone in your life. It may have been quite chaotic and disruptive and destructive, because we do see that top of the tower really breaking off from the lightning that has struck it. It may have been quite sudden, and you were like perhaps caught unawares about it. It really took a lot of your strength. You know, it took a lot of your internal strength, took a lot of your commitment, took a lot out of you personally to stand strong and emerge from the other side of this tower moment. And from there, you know, people talk about how you were not beaten, you did not fall down and stay down with the tower moment happening to you. In fact, what you did was, you know, they probably talk about how brave you were, how strong you were, how resilient you were, that you were able to come back from such strong energies that is represented by the tower, that is represented by the Nine of Wands, which is all about, like, you know, fighting till the end. Like you're almost there and you're really beaten down, but you're not giving up. So you see, even with the wands surrounding this figure here, She's still got that final one wand in her hands, ready to fight for her life. So you did not give up. You did not stay down. In fact, you grew a lot stronger from it, and they don't know how you did it, but they're very happy to see. They're very in admiration to see how Pile 1 brought themselves back from what seemed to be such a chaotic, destructive moment in their lives, and they emerge even stronger. Okay, right, now let's see if we can find out. Let's see if we can find out who are these people who are talking about Pile 1. Who are talking about Pile 1? Can we find out who are talking about Pile 1? Who are talking about Pile 1? Okay, so the cards that came out are the Ace of Swords, the Five of Cups, the Fool, and the Hanged Man. Who are talking about Pile 1? So I see this as like, a couple of new people who've joined your circle, a couple of new people who didn't know you very well, but perhaps they came to know about your Tower moment in your life, your Tower moment and your Nine of Wands moment in your life. So a couple of new people in your life, in your circle, that that you just recently know about, or you've recently gotten to know. There's also people, I think, who in your life kind of maybe like the more sad people, somebody who is a little bit stuck in their own situation, somebody who is not finding the way out, who have had some sadness or some difficulty or some challenges in their life too, but they haven't been able to break out of it. So when they talk about you and when they see what you've gone through, they're like, oh my gosh, how do I become like Pile 1? Because I wish I could, because I've been stuck in my situation for some time and I just don't see the way out, and then the new people who've just gotten to know you, they may just not know what kind of a person you are, how strong you are, because you are a person that is like the sun, right? This is your strength, this is your energy, and you keep on shining and burning bright no matter what. Yeah, and there's always rebirth for you, no problems. The sunflowers are always bright and shining, the faces are following the sun. You will come out of whatever difficult, challenging position that you are put in. And these new people who've just gotten to know you, they may not really understand who you are, they may not know who you are, or they may be just unaware of how you truly are, the strength of steel and resolve that you have within you. But you also chose the Selenite one, and the Selenite is always symbolic of mental clarity, of peace, of cleansing and clearing of blockages. So somehow, you do this for yourself. You create that mental clarity. You have the capacity to think clearly, and therefore that keep calm as well, and therefore that helps you get out of whatever difficult situation that you may be in, because you have the tenacity, the peace, the self-belief, and the intelligence, probably the ability to think clearly and analyze, how do I get out of this situation, and therefore you don't let it like just get you down and fall upon you again and again. Okay, so you don't get caught up in a situation that holds on to you, and you cannot get out of it. Okay, right, so that's amazing. Let's also look at what pile 1, now that you know that there is some tea going on about you, albeit it looks like very strong, good, healthy tea, not gossipy or malicious at all. Let's just see, is there any advice the fairies have for you from our oracle cards? Okay, is there any advice now that you know that there are people who speak about you, and this is what they speak about when they speak about you? I hope you're no longer in this Nine of Swords energy where you fear perhaps people are gossiping or speaking, you know, not so positive things about you. Okay, can we get some pieces of advice, please, for pile 1? 4 cards. 5 cards. Really? 5 cards? No, I think that's too much. So let's look. Let's shuffle again. Okay, can we please get some advice for pile 1? Anything else? Anything else? Okay, so yes, 1 card for pile. Wow. So pile 1, you've got renewal. So review the past and the present so you can plan a bright new future, understanding your life purpose and releasing judgments of yourself and others. So I hope you don't let your Tower moment, your 9 of Wands, keep you in that energy of the 9 of Swords, right? This is the 9 of Swords, where you're just like anxious, you're worried. Are people talking about what I went through? Perhaps it was something that was you know, known by quite a few people, so you feel a little bit self-conscious about it, but it is time to let it go. It is time to yes, you know what happened in the past, you've learned your lesson from it, and now it's time to go on and plan a bright new future. And anyway, you find out now that what people speak about when they speak about you does not look like anything that's dark and malicious or resentful or bitter, right? So I hope that puts your mind at ease, pile 1, and I hope that you can go forward with a bright, clear conscience and mindset and thinking, as well as heart as clear and as bright as your sun card. And with that, I'm going to close your reading, pile 1. I hope that this has been really useful for you, really helpful. And if you've liked this reading, please give me a thumbs up. You know, all these make the video go around. And give me a comment if you've got something to say about this reading, or if you have a topic for the next reading that I can do. And if you've not yet subscribed, do subscribe to the 3 Lotus Tarot. I'd really appreciate it. And until I see you in the next one, bye guys. Hello, pile 2. You chose the 5 of Swords with the blue speckled, the blue speckled Sodalite. The 5 of Swords. So, pile 2, is your current energy feeling like you keep having to fend off these wolves that are coming at your door all around you? Do you fear that there's a lot of gossip and rumors going on about you? And because it's wolves, then it gives me the impression that you're not thinking of this as just people sharing news or sharing information about you, but you do feel that it may be like gossipy rumor kind of stuff. So stuff that may not be like, you know, the stuff of dreams, I guess, right? So whatever it is, let's take a look at your full spread and see what is the tea that's going on around pile 2. Guides of pile 2, can we please find out what is the tea that's going on about pile 2. What is the tea? What is the news? What do people talk about? Pile 2. What do people talk about? Pile 2. What do people talk about? What do people talk about? Pile 2. There's one card that's flipped over here. So let's take a look at these cards first. Pile 2. Okay. So firstly, you've got the 6 of Swords. Firstly, you have the 6 of Swords, then you have the 4 of Cups. The 6 of Cups. And the 9 of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles and the 6 of Cups. Right, so what is the tea that's going on around about pile 2? Let's take a look. Let me unpack this. So pile 2, a very specific situation came along to me. But if your situation is not that specific situation, you can still take like the major concepts or the major themes away from it, okay? But I do feel that specifically there are people in pile 2 where there is a situation that you've been in for a very long time. You know, perhaps a family situation, perhaps a marriage, perhaps a long-standing relationship or a long-standing friendship that you are meant to be happy in. You are meant to be happy, meant to enjoy this relationship or this marriage or this union, whatever it is, this situation. You are meant to be happy in it. You've been in it for a long time. The 9 of Pentacles is usually a card about success, about attainment, abundance, luxury. You're enjoying the beautiful life that you have manifested for yourself, that you've achieved and accomplished for yourself. But in this specific 9 of Pentacles, you know, this lady looks very, very unhappy, very, very haggard, unhealthy, like she's stuck behind a walled garden. Beautiful as the garden may be, she is trapped inside that walled garden. So pile 2, this may be what people are talking about regarding you, where you should be leaving this trapped environment. And they may be talking about you staying on in this environment, in this trap, in this cage, because you have one thing in mind, you have one thing in your sights that you're not willing to let go of. I just saw 444 on the video camera. You have one thing, but you're not seeing everything else around you. So this deck is rather different from the classic decks, because the 4 of Cups is usually like, you know, you've got 3 cups in front of you and you don't see the 1 cup that's coming in behind you, right? But here you only see 1 cup. You don't see the bigger picture, perhaps. You know, you're focused and you're intent on the one thing that is in your sights, and perhaps that's what's keeping you locked in this situation. It may look like it's the, you know, a beautiful life. You've got everything you need, you know, perhaps creature comforts, material possessions, you know, and you're supposed to be happy. You should be, because, you know, you've got abundance and a beautiful life, but you're not. You're not, and people see this. People see this and they wonder why you don't leave. They may be talking about you, particularly focusing on one reason, and that's why you don't leave. I don't know what this reason could be. Could it be children or something, or somebody very important in the situation that you cannot leave behind, that you would have to leave behind if you wanted to remove yourself with the 6 of Swords from that turbulent water, unhappy waters, into calmer, happier waters. Could be that, as it is basically something, one thing that you cannot take your eyes off, that you don't see the other cups or the other opportunities or the other things, factors that may play a role in your situation. All you can see is this one cup. Okay, let's try to get more information. Let's try to get more information. How can pile 2 leave the situation if it's what's meant to be? How can pile 2 leave the situation if it is what is meant to be? Okay, so I've got several questions, right? But how can pile 1 leave the situation if it is meant to be? Okay, pile 2, I'm so sorry. Pile 2, let's see what your cards say. So there is justice here. If you are meant to leave, what should you do? Number 1, there's justice. Number 2, there's the world, which I'm going to have to just cover up, just in case. Okay, pile 2, that is the world. Pile card number 2, what am I saying? I'm just getting overly excited about this whole thing because I have several questions that I want to ask for you, pile 2. You also have the 6 of Pentacles, and you have the Devil. So pile 2, if you are meant to leave, what you need to do, there may be a legal situation that you have to get yourself out of, and that will be like changing your entire world. Okay, when you do this, when you go the legal route, it will change your entire world. You may see that there is that possibility of a figure having to pay out money or coins or give support or give help to perhaps you're the one paying out support and money. Perhaps you will receive support or money from this legal situation, and this is not a situation that you want to be in. You really don't want to be in this situation, or the person who is involved in this situation with you, keeping you behind a locked wall, is like the devil to you. You're really not happy in this situation. Okay, whatever it may be, take the concepts and the themes that resonate for your situation. I know I was talking quite particularly about somebody with their eye on one thing and one thing only, stuck behind a wall, even though it looks like a beautiful life, but they're not happy. They've been in that situation for a long time. So your advice, if you are meant to leave, then it is going to be a legal situation that will change your world. Let's see. But that's why you know this, pile 2. You know about this situation. You are unhappy in this walled garden of yours, and that's why you feel very self-conscious, and you know that people are talking about it, and you feel like you have to keep fending off the wolves. Either you're trying to not let the truth of the situation get out there, or you're protecting the one thing you have your eye on, or you just don't want people to talk about you, in this situation. It's your situation. You just don't want people to talk about it. It could just be that. Okay, but we asked about advice for if you're meant to leave this situation. Okay, so if pile 2 is not meant to leave the situation, what should they do next? If pile 2 is not meant to leave the situation, what should they do next? There is a card that has flipped over in this deck. I'm going to take it out. Right. Okay, so let's see. This card came. You have the 7 of Cups. So this is, if you are not meant to leave, what should you do next? 7 of Cups. I did say 7 of Wands, so let's keep that in mind. You also have the 8 of Pentacles. You have the Knight of Wands, which came in the reverse. And you have Judgment, which flipped over inside the deck. Okay. So what do I see? Pile 2. If you are not meant to leave, there are still options that you have. There are still options within that walled garden of yours, or that constraining environment of yours, which is keeping you unhappy and feeling trapped. There are still choices, there are still options, there are still alternatives that you can look at. So don't focus only on, don't be too blinded by the one thing you have your eye on, okay? Or if this is something that you have to protect, there are different ways that you can protect still, or there are different things that can help you out of a sad, trapped situation. Okay, there are many things that you can do, and you can do it quite easily actually if you open up your eyes and look at the possibilities. So I do see a lot of securing, providing a stable home, providing shelter, perhaps even just like financial security. So perhaps that may be what you have your eye on, financial security. And if you left this situation that you're in, you would not have this anymore, and you're trying to so-called save for a rainy day. But the 8 of Pentacles is all about speed and pace, right? So usually the 8 of Pentacles is about things happening fast, things happening at speed, maybe news coming in, changes coming in to your 3D world. But here we see this, and I think that you have a big possibility of being able to still protect and provide for the people that you care about, or for the objective, your main priority. You still have a chance, you still have options, other ways of taking care of that which is important to you. Okay, and with the Knight of Wands, which is taking action in the reverse, I see this as you not taking flight. If you don't leave, there are still other ways, because at the end of the day, what is right will rise, what is wrong will fall. Okay, so just do what is right, as well as the Justice card here. If you have a clear conscience, if you know what you're doing and you're doing it for the right reasons, then the correct situation will manifest, the correct solution will manifest. Okay, but what you are called upon to do now is to take a look at the opportunities and the alternatives that are around you, if you don't get out of this sad situation. So that I'm a little bit surprised at how this subject is supposedly fun subject. What is the tea going on about you coming to lead to a reading that could potentially be life-changing for you? But yes, you are right, there are people speaking about this. There are people saying that, yeah, I don't know why she leaves. Yeah, I know she just has her eye on one thing. And you don't need to worry about the wolves. How to, don't worry about the wolves. You have more things to think about. You need to decide if you're going to leave or not leave that walled in, trapped situation. If you leave, it will change your world. If you don't leave, if you choose not to leave, then open up your eyes to possibilities and opportunities around you to still protect that big main priority of yours and provide for them. Okay, right, let's get some oracle cards and see. We need some advice, please, for pile 2. Advice on what steps to go next, what steps to take next. get some advice, please, for pile 2. What steps to take next? Anything else? Anything else? What steps to take next? Okay. 2 cards. Let's take a look at these. You've got the Princess of Summer, a new relationship or emotional experience, invitations to social events, compassionate friends you can share your concerns with. Yes, so perhaps pile 2, you can, it's going to be a new emotional experience for you, whether or not you decide to change this situation that you're in. If you decide to change, it will change your entire world. If you decide not to change your situation, then it's still a new emotional experience, because you're going to have to be strong and resilient and creative and observant in checking out what around you can do to still provide and shelter and provide and protect that which is most important to you. Okay, and we do see here some indication of compassionate friends that you can share your concerns with. So perhaps it's time to talk to people that you trust, talk to people who care about you, who have your best interest at heart, and see what they say and see if that can help you in any way with your situation. Okay, pile 2, you also have the 7 of Winter. There is a better choice. Look at that. And you're not seeing things clearly. You're running away from the truth. That strikes deep for me. So pile 2, I am going to leave you with that. You do have to open up your eyes. You do have to look around you and not just try to protect yourself from the gossip or the news that's going on around you, but look at your situation and see what needs to be rectified or improved, if indeed there is a need for that. So I hope that this reading has been helpful for you, pile 2. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. And if you've not yet subscribed, please do. The channel is called 3 Lotus Tarot. I am still looking forward to building up the family up and up and up to 1.2k in the next few months. So I really would appreciate your help. And until I see you in the next reading, thank you and bye-bye. Hello, pile 3. You chose the 4 of Pentacles with the green Dongling. 4 of Pentacles is your energy now very much about protecting your assets. And that may be what people see about you, pile 4. You are somebody who protects your assets. And I see a squirrel there, so it could be for a rainy day, which is a wise decision. All right, so let's take a look at the rest of your cards, pile 3. The spirit guides of pile 3. What is the tea going on about them? What is the tea? What is the tea? Oh, okay, what is the tea going on about pile 3? What do people speak about for pile 3? What do people speak about when we talk about them? What do people say about pile 3? What do people say about pile 3? A lot of cards have come out, so let's take a quick look. First, you have the Sun and the 3 of Pentacles. 10 of Wands, Page of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, the 6 of Wands, and the Hierophant. The Hierophant. Okay. So what this tells me is that I think people, what people may talk about when they talk about you is that you do have a good life. You have a beautiful life, and you have been saving and working for this life. And perhaps you learned about, savings and investing and maybe protecting assets or building assets in order to have a great life ever since you were young. And that may be because you've had the struggle. You understand, you know about the struggle to provide and build a good life for yourself. Okay, with the Ten of Wands. So this may have been like in your past, when you were young, you had a challenging time, or you saw that the adults around you had a challenging time, and you learned from a very young age to build the physical assets that you need in order to build a good life for yourself. And until now, you still have that same energy and that same inclination to I've got to save, I've got to invest, I've got to build, just like the squirrel who hides away his acorns for winter time, right? So you're always building up your physical assets just in case I've got to prepare so that I'm not caught unawares. And that may be something that you saw in your past that has happened, or it has happened to you, and you don't ever want to be in that situation again. You wanted to start a brand new life, a brand new style, a brand new lifestyle for yourself, so that you can always be happy and you have an abundant life, full of the creature comforts and the happiness and the joys and the conveniences that you enjoy, that you like, right? So you have been doing this, and that's what people talk about, in that sense. And you have the Six of Wands, which is success. So you do have a lot of success, or you've been successful at building up your assets and your savings, your investments, your portfolio, your monetary financial portfolio. And perhaps you're almost there, or you are there, you're going to reach there in terms of financial freedom, right? So I do see this happening for you. I do see people talking about this for you. Now, what I want to find out more about is the Hierophant. The Hierophant. Can we get more clarification, please, about the Hierophant? Can we get clarification, please, about the Hierophant? It could be that the Hierophant is a mentor that you had, that where you have learned that lesson, like I mentioned earlier, right? Because you have seen challenging times, or you've experienced challenging times. Because I said that you've had this inclination, this need to save since you were young. So perhaps you had a mentor who did the exact same thing, and then that's why you want to follow in his footsteps, right? So okay, I wanted to clarify the Hierophant. We have the Seven of Cups, we have the Moon, and we have the King of Wands. Yes, so it is somebody that you look up to. The Hierophant is somebody that you look up to, that you are emulating, yet you want to emulate, especially even if you don't emulate the King of Wands' entire persona and characteristics. You want to emulate this savings, building my investments, strategies, style, priority. Okay, so there is somebody that you look up to, that you are trying to emulate, that you're trying to mold yourself in the figure of, in the same likeness as, right? Because at the end of the day, you do want to, you're learning, whether you're learning to do many different types of savings or investments, or you're learning to do this because you want to have a lot of opportunities, have a lot of things in your life, because the Seven of Cups is like the world is your oyster, right? Because every cup that is available to you is brimming with something in the classic deck. So that's what you could be looking for, and that's why you are emulating this King of Wands. All right, let's put this aside. Now, this is the tea that's going on about you, and let's see how can Pile 3 continue to build a great impression of themselves amongst others. How can Pile 3 build a great impression of themselves among others? Strange cards have come out. Strange cards have come out because you have the Six of Swords, you have the Star, the Ace of Swords, and the Five of Pentacles. How do you build a great impression of yourself for others? So I did have this feeling, this message, that perhaps you, in your effort to save, you have become very, very frugal, and you don't really take the time to think about sharing expenditure. You don't want to part with any money or any assets, and that may have made you a little bit hard to live with, or a little bit hard to be friends with, just because people may feel that all you want is to capture all the nuts for yourself, and you don't think about others, and you don't want to share anything with anybody else. So that could be that was one emotion that I kept getting earlier on in the reading. So if that's how you are, Pile 3, take a good clean look at yourself. If that's how you are, perhaps you might want to move away from that. With the Six of Swords, leave that extremely frugal persona behind. I'm not saying don't save. I'm not saying be wise. I'm not saying don't be wise. I'm not saying be reckless with your money. But just, sometimes if you're going out with friends, we don't have to calculate to the last penny, or, like, oh, okay, yeah, you owe me, 20 cents for, just now. So if you move away from that, then that could help change that impression of you amongst others. And since they do talk about you being that sort of person who keeps wanting to build your asset base, okay, you do already have a good situation around you, a good financial stability state around you. You don't really want for anything, but I think because this habit, this trend inside you has been ingrained in you since you were young, you find it hard to separate yourself now, even though you already have reached a beautiful life, okay? But you have. So you need to acknowledge that you have, and being a little bit more generous with people around you, your loved ones, your friends, whoever it may be. Being a little bit more generous is not going to harm you. It's not going to send you to the poorhouse, okay? So do make that change, because we don't want to see you being, like friends wanting to leave you, or friends feeling like you don't really see them as friends if you're going to be so calculative with them, or that you don't even give them any little bit of sharing, okay? And please, I want to be very clear, I don't mean at all that you should just give to everybody around you. Everybody has a responsibility to earn their own money, build their own financial freedom. You have done yours. The only thing I'm saying is that when there is generosity of heart, when there is generosity of spirit, it will also come back to you, okay? So take all financial decisions wisely, prudently, but at the same time, if you have it in you, think about generosity of heart, generosity of spirit, especially to your loved ones and or your friends. Okay. And that may shift the impression that is going on around you now, right? Let's see pile 3 now. Are there any further bits of advice for pile 3? Any further pieces of advice for pile 3, please, as they move forward? Hold on, a couple of cards flipped over. Okay, any pieces of advice, please, for pile 3 as they move forward? Okay. All right, so let's take a look at what the oracle cards have for you. We've got the Queen of Summer. Listen to your heart, pile 3. Intuitive insights you can trust. Taking care of others, perhaps too much. See, listen to your heart. Know what your heart is telling you. If your heart is saying that you know you're being very frugal with even your loved ones and people who perhaps have been generous with you in the past, but you've not yet been generous back to them, listen to your heart and follow your gut as to what you should do and how you should treat different people in your life. Like I said, it's not about taking care of others all the time. Everybody has a responsibility to take care of themselves and build their own financial stability. Okay, you also have the King of Spring. So the Queen of Summer is the Queen of Cups. Okay, Queen of Cups. So be loving, be kind, be gentle and understanding and empathetic of other people around you, but not overdo it, which would be the reverse of the Queen of Cups. Okay, you also have the King of Spring, which is the King of Wands. So a financial windfall is coming to you. I think you're very happy to hear this, pile 3. Your leadership skills are needed now, and there's an unexpected supporter of your cause. So I think you also have to be in the persona of the King of Wands, which is the King of Spring. Be in the persona, be charismatic, be giving, confident, mature, take care of your kingdom, your people around you. So it's not just about taking care of yourself. Okay, you have to have that rather magnanimous, big picture mindset in your head. Okay, you have the Sun again, pile 3. Plans that work out perfectly, amazing ideas that lead to rewards and commendations, gratitude for the blessings of life. So you see, like we said just now, you have the Star here, right? And you have the Sun. You have achieved already that beautiful life, that stable life, that secure life that you were looking for. So acknowledge that and be grateful for it. And then let's see if you have it in you to want to be more generous with people in your life. Maybe the people who you feel deserve it or could do with some generosity. Okay, you also have the World, pile 3. It says a brilliant success, the freedom to go in any direction, and a journey that is now complete. A journey that is now complete. You have built what you need to build. You have your 10 of Pentacles. You have your Sun. You have your Star. You have achieved what you set out to achieve. Okay, now what is it that you can do? What is it that you can do to make that world of yours complete? Be the sun that you already have in your life. Perhaps you can be that ray of sunshine, that bright sunny day for other people. Perhaps you can help complete other people's worlds as well. Okay, perfect, beautiful, a very healing reading, I think, for you, pile 3, because if you have been in this energy, then it is very healing for you to understand that I have reached where I set out to go. And perhaps now it's time to check around me and see how else I can give back to society, give back to family, give back to the people who have helped me, give back to the people who could do with some generosity of heart and spirit or money from me. And with that, pile 3, I'll close your reading. If you've liked it, please give me a thumbs up because it helps the channel grow. Thank you so much. And if you've not yet subscribed, do subscribe to the 3 Lotus Tarot. We welcome you to the family. And until I see you in the next one, guys, bye.